everybody, this is the M Crew Dude. Out of all the shows I watched to make the most of my free trial, I saved my favorite for last. A recent show called Wayne has become a big hit ever since its release, and I have to say, it's awesome. Full of action, over-the-top violence, and an emotional story, I would say it's a very worthy show. But let's take a quick look at it before I get too ahead of myself. Produced by Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick, who are best known as the writers of the Deadpool movies, the show begins with our titular character Wayne and his sick father living together in Brockton, Massachusetts. Now, I would just like to stop for a second and let you guys in on a personal secret. I was actually born in Brockton. Yeah, I don't believe the show was actually filmed there, but the fact that it takes place in my birthplace is pretty cool. They portray the town as being a very tough and trashy place, but are they accurate? Let me take a quick look to make sure they didn't mess it up. Looks about right. The show's creator, Sean Simmons, was also from Brockton, and it's really cool to see a lot of accurate references. There are a few mentions of the famous boxers. The mascot for Wayne's high school is the Bulldog, while the real-life Brockton High School's mascot is the Boxer Dog, and there's even a moment when a character talks about Town Spa Pizza, which is actually located in Stoughton, by the way.
My name is Sergeant Stephen Geller. I'm from Brockton, just like you. Born there, raised there. Eat Town Spa Pizza, just like you. You like Town Spa Pizza?
Cape Cod Cafe is better.
By a fucking mile.
Well, a lot of people would agree with that.
Debatable, but I still think Town Spa's pretty good. Anyways, Wayne is a violent, abrasive teenager played by Mark McKenna, who acts as a quiet loner / self-serving vigilante. He's not a hero, but isn't exactly an anti-hero either. He meets a young girl selling cookies named Dell, played by Sierra Bravo, and the two hit it off after a rather awkward first impression, and they ultimately share a connection over broken home life. After Wayne's father passes away from illness, Wayne decides to retrieve a gold Trans Am car that was stolen from his father and now held by a tough gang in Ocala, Florida. Wayne meets up with Dell again, and invites her to run away with him to Florida to retrieve his birthright. After a fight with Dell's two idiot brothers, he gets attacked by her father, who Wayne quickly beats up and then freaking bites his damn nose off. During the long trip south, the two have disagreements and conflicts over what they're going to do, because as it turns out, Wayne might actually be going to Florida to find something more meaningful. Along the way, Wayne is pursued by a couple of police officers from Brockton, Dell's family, and the principal of the school along with Wayne's best friend. I'm not really sure why they're along for the ride, but they do make for an entertaining team-up. It's clear that Wayne is inspired from the likes of Dirty Harry, and in a lot of ways, the show pays a large amount of homage to some of those types of stories. Starting with what I like about the show. I like the story, and the characters are very well written. The relationships have a lot of depth, we learn more about Wayne's difficult life over time, and there's even a whole flashback episode dedicated to Dell, where we learn about her family life and how she became the way she is. The places they visit are really interesting, and we get wrapped up in some really fun conflicts, making this feel like a solid road trip adventure. They get involved with some criminals in West Greenwich, Rhode Island, and even attend a school dance in Richmond Hill, Georgia, just to name a few. The overall tone is consistent with its grindhouse-style filter and its vulgar dialogue. The soundtrack is pretty cool, and a lot of the stunts are shocking and well-directed, so the overall cinematography is great. Finally, I have to praise Wayne himself. He can be best described as a brutal force of nature with his uncaring attitude as he leaves trails of bloody noses and broken teeth in his wake. He shows how much of a badass he is, and he's the kind of person that's not afraid of anything. Except buying tampons, that's his only weakness. Of course he's more than just that, as he turns out to be a much deeper character as the show progresses. A few nitpicks I have are that sometimes the obscene dialogue is hard to take seriously as it can sometimes be distracting, and there are a few minor scenes that I wish could have been implemented a bit better, but that's just me. It's not that I'm sensitive to obscenity or anything like that, I just find it to be meaningless if it's overused, speaking from a screenwriting standpoint at least. Another thing is that the characters also speak with the most ridiculously emphasized Boston accents I've ever heard. It's actually kind of funny. It saddens me to say that I just got word that YouTube has cancelled Wayne's second season following a bunch of changes. Apparently, Google announced that it will be updating YouTube Premium. YouTube will release its original programming for free to everyone, but Premium members will get early access to all of the episodes at once. In most cases, director's cuts and bonus footage for some will be available to members, but unfortunately, it doesn't really seem like a worthy investment. This has been a rather interesting journey through YouTube Premium, and I know I forgot to cover one in particular, but, maybe someday. In conclusion, I think YouTube Premium is a decent platform, but nothing compared to Netflix. There are a few really great shows worth watching like Wayne and Impulse, but besides that, the platform doesn't have a lot of good exclusive content to make it worth a long-term investment. Yeah, I felt the same way after I bought a PS Vita. This is the M Crew Dude, signing off, wishing you all a very pleasant day.